So, hi, and welcome to today's class of Vedic astrology. So, today we will be learning about another very important and very auspicious yoga that is formed in a particular Lagna chart, in a particular horoscope. In Vedic astrology, this particular yoga is known as Bhagyawan yoga. So, when we use the word Bhagyavan, it is a Hindi word. It means the person is extremely lucky, very optimistically lucky. All right. So, Bhagyavan is all about, you know, telling that someone is very lucky, very blessed, or that's what a Bhagyavan is. So, Bhagyavan yoga is a very auspicious yoga and it forms in a particular Lagna chart whenever there is a yukti between the fourth house lord, the fifth house lord, and the ninth house lord sitting in any of the Kendra houses, that is the first, fourth, seventh, and 10th. So, again, I am repeating Bhagyavan yoga is formed whenever there is a yukti, there is a conjunction of the fourth house lord, fifth house lord, and ninth house lord in that individual's Lagna chart, and this particular conjunction needs to happen in any of the Kendra houses, that is the first, fourth, seventh, and 10th. Few conditions that are absolutely universal in nature that I have discussed in most of my videos whenever I am talking about auspicious yogas or any dosh. Whenever we talk about yogas, let's understand the auspiciousness, the full effects will only be seen when degree wise the planets are strong enough. All right, when the planets should not get combust because of sun, and planets should not be maraka. All right, so even though the fourth house lord, fifth house lord, ninth house lord, whenever such lords are sitting in the Kendra houses, they can never be maraka. All right, they will always be yoga karaka. That's a very understandable thing. And even if you have watched all of my previous classes and in detail, you will also know about this particular concept. But even though they are yoga karaka, because they fourth house lord, fifth house lord, ninth house lord will definitely be yoga karaka, and they are sitting in the Kendra houses, that will also be, it means a planet placement wise will also be yoga karaka. But just that these planets should not get debilitated. All right, if they are debilitated, and if either of the planets are debilitated and there is no Neech Bhang Raj Yoga for that planet, then also Bhagyavan Yoga will not happen, will not be properly seen. The effects will not be properly seen. So all of these conditions, it needs to be met for a Bhagyavan Yoga to properly form. Now let's look at whether Bhagyavan yoga is forming from some example Lagna charts. Now let's take an example of a Gemini Lagna. So in Gemini Lagna, you can pause the video and you can draw a Gemini Lagna chart. Now let's understand in the Gemini Lagna, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn are sitting in the first house. So now you tell me whether Bhagyavan yoga is happening or not. See, the fourth house lord is Mercury. Mercury is sitting in the first house. The fifth house lord is Venus. Venus is sitting in the first house. And the ninth house lord is Saturn. Saturn is also sitting in the first house. So definitely, yes, there is a Bhagyavan yoga, And all of these three planets are well placed in the sign of Mercury itself. And here there is also a Lakshmi Narayan yoga because of the conjunction of Mercury and Venus. So this particular placement of Venus, Mercury, Saturn in the first house of Gemini Lagna is excellent. Now you can draw one more Gemini Lagna chart. Now suppose in the fourth house of the Gemini Lagna chart, Mercury, Venus and Saturn are placed. Now you tell me whether Bhagyawan yoga is happening or not. Now here see, Venus is getting debilitated because it gets debilitated in the sign of Virgo. But the planet that is exalted in the sign of Virgo, that is Mercury, is placed in the same house with Venus and Saturn. So here Venus will have a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. So here also a Bhagyavan yoga is definitely happening. And here there are three auspicious Raj Yogas, all right. Venus has a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. Mercury, Venus together, they are forming Lakshmi Narayan Yoga. And Mercury, Venus, Saturn are forming a Bhagyavan Yoga. So such formation, Mercury, Venus, Saturn getting formed in the fourth house of a Gemini Lagna is tremendously auspicious, all right. So such kind of formations, these are not very casual, casually we cannot look at it. These are very, very auspicious. It can also be very rare because two very auspicious Raj Yogas, Lakshmi Narayan Yoga, Bhagyavan Yoga, and all of these three planets are friendly with each other. They are sitting in their friendly sign. One of the planets is also exalted. So here this is a very auspicious yoga. Now let's look at one more example, Lagna chart. You can draw a Cancer Lagna chart. So the first house is ruled by sign number 4, that is Cancer. Lagnesh is Moon. Now suppose in this particular Lagna chart, suppose in the 10th house, Venus, Mars and Jupiter are sitting. Now you tell me whether Bhagyavan yoga is happening for this particular example or not. So the fourth house lord is Venus. Venus is placed in the 10th house. The fifth house lord is Mars. Mars is placed in the 10th house. And the 9th house lord is Jupiter. So Jupiter is also placed in the 10th house. So here Bhagyavan yoga is definitely happening. Conjunction of Venus, Mars and Jupiter in the 10th house of a Cancer Lagna. Now let's look at Leo Lagna chart let's take Leo Lagna chart as an example chart. In the Leo Lagna chart, now suppose in the fourth house, Jupiter and Mars, they are sitting. Now you tell me whether Bhagyavan yoga is happening or not. So we need to understand one thing. Even if the 5th house lord and the 9th house lord, they are sitting together, then also there will be kind of a but here what I can see is, see the 4th house lord, the 4th house lord is Mars. Mars is sitting in the 4th house. The 5th house lord is Jupiter. Jupiter is sitting in the 4th house. And the 9th house lord is also Mars, that is already sitting in the 4th house. So here Mars has the rulership of two of the houses, which actually comes into play whenever we talk about Bhagyavan Yoga. So here conjunction of two planets only is forming Bhagyavan Yoga, because Mars has the lordship of two houses, that is a Kendra house, that is the fourth house, and a Trikona house, that is the ninth house, and fourth house, ninth house, along with the fifth house are taken into consideration whenever we will want to understand whether Bhagyavan Yoga is happening, forming in a particular Lagna chart or not. Now let's look at one more example Lagna chart. Let's take an Libra Lagna chart, right, as an example. Now suppose in Libra Lagna, Mars and Saturn are placed in the first house. So now you tell me whether Bhagyavan Yoga is happening with this particular combination of Mercury and Saturn in the first house or not. See, Mercury, the lord of the fourth house, Saturn, is sitting in the first house. The lord of the fifth house, that is Saturn, that is already sitting in the first house. And the lord of the ninth house, that is Mercury, is sitting in the first house along with Saturn. And here Saturn is also exalted in the sign of Libra. So Bhagyavan Yoga is definitely happening with this particular combination of Mercury and Saturn in the first house of Libra Lagna. All right. So Saturn has the lordship of two houses, the fourth house and the fifth house. Mercury has the lordship of the ninth house. So both of these two planets are sitting in a Kendra house, that is the first house. Saturn is exalted in the first house. Mercury is also well placed in the sign of Libra because it is sitting in its friendly sign. Saturn is also gets exalted in its friendly sign, that is the sign of Libra, ruled by Venus. So here Bhagyavan Yoga is definitely forming. Now let's look at one more example Lagna chart. That is the Libra Lagna only. You can draw one more Libra Lagna chart. And suppose in this particular example Lagna chart, Mercury and Saturn, they are placed in the seventh house of Libra Lagna. Now you tell me whether Bhagyavan Yoga is happening with this particular combination, conjunction of Venus and of Mercury and Saturn or not. See, in the seventh house, the fourth house lord, that is Saturn, is sitting in the seventh house. Just 1 second. All right. The fifth house lord, that is Saturn. I was just checking one particular point, so I took a particular pause. I was thinking about a particular point in my mind related to this particular chart. In the fifth house lord, Saturn, that is also sitting in the seventh house. And the ninth house lord, that is Mercury, is sitting in the seventh house. But here Saturn is getting debilitated in the sign of Aries. And with this combination of Mercury and Venus, here there is no Neech Bhang for Saturn. So in this particular conjunction, in this particular condition, Bhagyavan Yoga will not form because Saturn is getting debilitated. Bhagyavan Yoga will only form if there will be a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga for Saturn. All right. Then only Mercury and Saturn conjunction in the seventh house of Libra Lagna will form a Bhagyavan Yoga. So this is what I wanted to discuss about Bhagyavan Yoga, a very, very auspicious yoga in the world of Vedic astrology. All right. And this particular yoga takes into consideration the lordship of three houses that needs to form a yukti in a Kendra house. All right. This particular yoga is very specific in nature. Even if it is forming in any other houses, we cannot say it is a Bhagyavan yoga. If this three combination conjunction, that is 4th, 5th, 9th, is forming in some other houses, then also Bhagyavan yoga will not properly form. It will only properly form if the conjunction of the 4th house lord, 5th house lord, and the 9th house lord is forming in any of the Kendra houses. All right. So this is what I wanted to discuss about Bhagyavan yoga. I have explained in detail, in completeness, and with complete accuracy about the concept, about the topic of Bhagyavan yoga. All right. So you have to utilize this particular process, this particular way of interpretation. That is what I have taught, shared, and discussed in today's class. In any of the Lagna charts that you will be seeing, in order to analyze whether Bhagyavan yoga is forming in any of the charts that you are seeing or it is not forming. All right, so I hope you are watching all of my Vedic astrology classes, and I hope you are watching all of my classes in detail. I hope you are not even skipping one particular class. I hope you are not watching the classes randomly. Please go in a sequence starting from class 1, because if you completely see class 1, then you will be able to understand class 2, then you will be able to understand class 3, and so on and so forth. All of these classes, whatever I am sharing, posting in this YouTube channel of mine, all of these classes are interconnected. So in order to understand, suppose today's class or any of my previous classes, you have to watch all of the previous classes, and you need to watch those classes in sequence from class 1, then move ahead to class 2, and you move ahead to another class only when you are thorough, fluent, and sound with that particular class. Then you move to the next class. Then like this you follow. Then only you will be able to understand all of the topics whichever I am discussing and sharing. In detail, you will be able to understand. You yourself will not be having any kind of queries, doubts whatsoever. Even if you have it, try to watch my videos over and over again. If you are not able to understand some of my words, some of my teachings in one particular watch, or even in a couple of watches, so watch it multiple number of times, my classes, my videos, till you are absolutely concrete with the learning of that particular class, with that particular topic, and then you proceed further, then you move ahead. And before you say goodbye for today's class, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a request. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I will definitely feel very happy, because I will feel that I am connecting with you all, and all of you are benefiting by watching all of my classes. See, I'm taking these classes, making these videos, teaching all of the important points about Vedic astrology in detail, and I am doing it with all sincerity, with all honesty, and I am trying my level best so that I do not miss any of the important points. So at the end of the day, when you have watched all of my classes, you will be a complete and a thorough practitioner of Vedic astrology. You will be able to analyze your own horoscope and also other people's horoscope with complete accuracy. You will be able to understand it. And that's the reason why I am putting so much efforts into making these videos, into sharing my knowledge, into discussing whatever important Vedic astrology has to offer. A person must know in order to understand this particular skill, this particular science in detail. And also I am teaching every topic to you in a practical way, all right, using some very good examples so that you will be able to practice it whatever you are learning. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please like my videos, share my videos, and if you have any doubts, any queries, any questions that you want me to answer, that is about the various topics of Vedic astrology, whatever I am teaching and sharing, you can share those comments, those questions, queries, or doubts in the comment section of this particular video, or the comment section of any of the videos that you are watching that is related to that particular topic. If you want to share your doubts or queries, you can mention that in the comments of the respective videos, respective classes, and I will try my level best, my sincere best to answer your queries and doubts so that you are absolutely thorough with with all of the concepts of Vedic astrology. All right. So I will see you in the next class. Take care and be happy.